You ever have one of those days where you sit down to create, you get everything sorted, everything ready, and the next thing you know, you are in the middle of a mini mass making marathon. So you just make and just do all big bunches of different stuff and test stuff and do stuff and just stuff. That's what I did today, and I'm here to share it with you. I got my stuff together. Let's get down to it. So we've got a few of these. Let's put them on the lid so they're easier to move about. We don't need those until later, but I like having things neat because I only have a little work surface here. So keeping it neat. Yeah, I say that now. Okay, so we grabbed some archival ink. I'm going to use it for embossing powder. So I've got some black, white, gold, and silver. This is what I have handy right now. You can use whatever colors you have handy. You will need a heat gun tool if you're using. Take some sepia. I don't know, is this sepia or is this sepia? You know what? It might be better to use my tweezers. Maybe not. All right, and then we're going to dip it in the black. Try that again. Give it a tap. Okay, so there's what that looks like. That's kind of fun. And then we're going to let this cool off because it's mega hot. And we'll just set it down. It should be okay. Now we're going to take this guy. We're just going to kind of dabble him. I want to try something. I'm wondering if the white will pick up the color of the ink. I'm curious. Let's find out. It did. That's really kind of cool. On the sides there, you can really see the white getting picked up. For now, we're going to do the rest of these. Let's try, excuse me, this green. That turned out pretty cool. Yeah. We're going to focus. I want to do a hot pink one. No, we're going to do a red one. We're going to do this green. I'm going to get the edges. That's why I'm taking my old sweet time. While it's still hot, I'm going to take this kitchen towel. It turned out pretty cool. Okay, let's do one more.
Let's do one more gold. This time, instead of this leaf green, we're going to do black. Again, before it gets cooled off, we're going to take the kitchen towel. That's pretty cool. I want to hit it one more time with this. There's a couple of peaks that I didn't really like, and this is plastic and I don't want to hurt nobody, so I don't want to take the chance of it cutting anybody. A minute. I wanted to take one of the first ones we did, and I just want to hit it really lightly with the sanding paper, or the sanding block. And this is a fine side, so I wanted to see if I could distress it back to that green, so the green would poke through, and it kind of looks like it's working. Let's try the medium. I think I'm being too gentle with it. Well, that's not working. Let's try steel wool. Okay. Let's see if this will work. No, but it's actually kind of buffing it out. Hang on. Let's take some of this off. It's kind of clumpy, yo. Right that way. My dad would be rolling over in his grave right now, seeing me put steel wool on one of these. And okay. No, it's not really buffing, but it's buffing out. I kind of like that. So it makes it more matte. Okay. I don't know if there's a knack to this, but Mr. Tim Holtz, how did you get it to stay on there? Okay, that's cool. All right, I'm digging it. Yeah, I'm digging that. I'm kind of sad that but I'm cool. I'm cool. Let's see if maybe I'll come back on this one. Oh, but that's kind of cool. Okay. Okay. So let's get rid of all the evidence here. Okay, so I got a hair somewhere, and I decided to try and do it with buttons. And that looks kind of cool. I don't know, we'll see. But of course, it's plastic to plastic, it's not going to stick. But if I can get my collage medium open, so we're going to take a little bit of collage medium, because it left a little groove. So we'll get this going. Oh, that's a lot. It's all right. And then we'll take this and put it back on there. Maybe. There we go. It snapped right into place. Excuse me. We'll take a little skewer. Fill in the dots. Does this stuff shrinks when it dries? I think. Maybe it's not supposed to shrink. I don't remember. But we're going to put a little bit in the holes. You can stop heavy now. There we go. All right. So see, I put the embossing stuffy on there, and it made these two little holes for it. So now we can take collage medium
So these are dry and they are on there. I think they look really cute. So let's try and see what they look like. We'll grab one of these pop tab closures and let's put this black one on here. Like so. Now it does have a little bit of a footprint, but you could actually maybe even use these as like a wraparound closure if you didn't want to use them on here like that. Or you could do this for one side and then do a wraparound closure for the other side. That would be pretty cool. So I think you have to look for thin buttons, but it works. So I'm just going to put this one on here. Oopsies. There we go. So that one's not, see, that one's a little bit thinner. So you can see this is a thicker button than this one is. So maybe if you had some thinner buttons. I really like this, how the silver pokes through. But if that's not your jam, use clear. But then know that the color of the brad is going to probably show through. So, anywho, let's go on to another brad-tastic thing. I had an idea of taking some book pages. These are dictionary pages, and this is teeny tiny little print. And I'm like, well, that would look kind of cool. So let's take some glue. We can just cut this like so, and then cut them into squares. And take a glue stick and get this all full of glue. And it's really nice is if you have that little hole in the center, you can just push it in there. Or, you know, we'll try one with glue stick, see how it goes. And then maybe I'll try some art glitter glue. Because I've never done this before, but if it doesn't turn out, you won't see this video. But me being me, I think of these weird things. You know, you're falling asleep at night to videos. At least I do. I put on a video, so you're welcome for the watch time, whoever you are. I'm watching that night. Okay, so these need to be a little bit bigger because my idea was to wrap it around. I wonder if rubbing alcohol will degrade the glue. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of water, just off to the side so I don't leave puddles on my... Well, that helped. Make it a little bit easier to... But I see the pink is showing through, but this is a very bright pink. So... we're just going to wrap it around like that. Now, one thing you can do, that's kind of cute. All right, I'm gonna let that sit right there. One thing you can do is, I have this is the bottom of a soda bottle. And what I like to do is just take, this is wax paper and a rubber binder. Maybe this will fit. I didn't have another one in my... Okay, that's not gonna work. Let's grab the other one. These are plastic. I get 1,000 of these for like $7, and they're for hair.
but I don't use them in my hair because my hair is fine and it gets tangled. So I'm like, what am I going to use them for? Put them in the art studio. We'll take this guy and we'll just poke holes. So you can take this and just rip this little piece. Oh, that ripped the whole thing off. That's no bueno. Let's try this again. Let's let that sit there for a second as we get. Well, we're going to start with a wet piece of paper. I think if we start with a wet piece of paper, it'll work better. Let's get both sides a little damp. We don't use the M word in this house, or around me. So let's do tuck. Oh, I like that even better because the pink's not showing through now. But the reason why I said this is then you can put them in here and they'll stay stable and you won't have to have them rolling about your desk. That's why I have them in a little tray here and everything. So let's put this here. And I'm going to wet this little piece. Figure out which side I like better. And all right, let's put the glue stick away and let's get the, excuse me, art glitter glue, which is where? It's not in its house. Oh, there it is. It's in its neighbor's house. All right, let's try. Coming from the bottom. There we go. And make this a little damp. Okay. Let's get the yellow one because that looked. And put a little glue here. Put a fairly large bead because I'm going to smush it around the side. There we go. Use this to help it pick it up. I think I like the liquid glue better. All right. Take this guy. This guy has some glue on him already, so let's see how that works. That's a substantial amount. I like the art glitter glue better than glue stick, but I wanted to try both because, you know, good test is that. So while we're waiting, we're going to start another Brad idea. And it has to do with bottle caps. What we're going to do is we're going to take these and flip them over. What I like to do, because they do have beer on the top, is I'll take a little rubbing alcohol and a rag And we'll just clean them out real quick. Next step. For these bottle caps, I know this will work the best. So we're going to figure out which one's bigger here. Okay, that one's bigger, so that can go back in the bin. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I know I have another hole punch. Let's try this one. All right, so we're going to cut 2 out for each of these, so there'll be 16. So 2 circles for each one. I'll speed this part up. All right, last one. All right, well, I'll have to hit that guy with some aluminum foil. Work some paper. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. That goes back in the bin. All right, next step. If you do not have a crocodile, then I would suggest getting something you can punch holes into, because we're going to need to punch holes. But the nice thing about this is these are circular, and we want to use the large hole, and they're fairly easy to line up. If you want to, you can make a template. I'm going to walk on the wild side. That was the best yet. Good deal. We're getting better. Actually, I'll do art glitter glue on a couple, and then I'll do hot glue on the others, so you can know that liquid PVA type glue will work. You could even use this stuff. I can't remember collage medium. There we go. That's the words. Words are hard. We're gonna do, I think I'm just gonna do one with the art glitter glue. If you have PVA glue, knock yourself out. Have fun with it. I personally am going to use hot glue because it's faster. Now, this idea was inspired by Margaret over at Seven Plaza. She put one of these on one of hers, and I was like, wait a minute, that would solve my dilemma. So we're going to do that here. We're going to take some PVA and we're going to put a little down here. And yes, I'm bubbling it up because we want this to stick. And then we're going to take the stick and we're going to wiggle it around a little. Okay. Ooh. It's all right. Now, I need to get it kind of level in here. Wipe my stick off. And we're going to come in and we're going to fill in any gaps along the edge. Because we want this to stick. This is what's going to be our, this is what it's going to be our base. So we want this to be really down good. So I'm just moving the extra glue with the tip. I'm using the tip as a paintbrush. All right. Wipe the tip off. I'm going to put this back on because I'm not going to be using this. Not right now. We will in a little bit. I'm going to let this sit. Okay, so you can see it's not full. Let's see if I can tip it at an angle a little bit. So you can kind of see it's not full, but it's there. I'm going to set that off to the side and let that dry. Now, this goes so much faster. We're going to do the same assembly. So we're going to take this, we're going to do a little. These weren't the glue sticks that came with it, so these are not Surebonder glue sticks. And I've found this to be an issue. If you don't use glue bonder glue sticks, you have issues. So be careful, you are working with hot glue. If you do not have fingers like me, where I have baker fingers because I was the crazy person that would reach into hot ovens. This should be hot. It's high temp. Oh, that's why it broke. Let's try this again. There we go. So we're going to put a good size bead in there and smooth it about. Yeah, now we're talking. Now it's working. Glue stick broke. I think it's because I leave this on my desk. And it fell off because Rhea. All right, we got a good size layer there. We're going to stick this down. Now be careful, this does get warm. The pop tab, or the, excuse me, bottle cap. We're going to take a little glue and put it around here. Grab another one of these dealy poppers. And then we're going to take this. Make a circle around there. I'm going to take one of these. And I put the flat side out because this is what's going to go against your substrate, whether it's paper, cardboard, whatever. Okay. And then I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to do around maybe. Yeah, you need to use Surebonder glue sticks with these. I think they're like a little bit rougher. Like they have a texture to them. And I'm just going around the edge here just to glue down the edge. You don't have to do this part. I'm just kind of anal retentive. I'm particular. I wonder if I took a piece of, if I hit the glue stick with a sanding block, if that would take care of it. Okay, that's getting warm. We're going to let that cool. On to the next one.
I'm going to let these cool, and then we'll be back for the back. We'll be back for the back or the front. All right, everything is dry and ready to go. I actually kind of played around with this a little bit. Got this little trimmy bobber. We're going to go in and we're just going to trim off. If you have a pair, you know what would work really well with this is a cuticle scissors. I cannot find mine, but if you have a pair of cuticle scissors, those things are the best. So I'm leaving a little bit so it covers the edge. I did have one spot right here that's not quite covered, but that's okay. I'm looking for my ink. All right, we're grabbing some ink here. I got some gathered twigs. I don't know, this has kind of been my new, everybody loves vintage photo, and I'm like, and vintage photo is kind of orangey to me. And I don't like the orangey. I like just the brown. This is kind of a green brown, and I kind of like it, at least in my eyes. So check that out. Isn't that cool? All right, so let's get some ink on these guys. Okay, I'm not liking this. Let's rearrange this. Need something squishier so they stand up. I wonder. Give me a minute. I'm processing. Okay, might wiggle the camera a little bit. I have too much stuff. Wait, I didn't say that. I don't have enough stuff. I wonder if I put a piece of tape on here. I like this. So, is it going to stick? Nope, because it's parchment paper. Nope. All right, let's try. A piece of old paper towel. Okay, let's see if that works better. Oh yeah, much better. That gives it a little bit of strength to it. Get these guys done. Now you can do like, I'm only doing 4 here. You can do like a super mass make and sit down and do 20. You wouldn't have to make them again for like a year if you, and you know, for me, I make a few, see how many I use, and then if I really use them, if it's really like a go-to, I will sit and do this all day. Because I mean, there's dry time in between, so you're not doing it all day. But 4 is a good enough for me because I don't use them that often. But we're doing, you know, these ones too because we have all the same supplies out. I don't know why I'm shaking this. You're not supposed to shake it. Habits. So we're going to take a little of this, and I'm just going to use the tip thing to get it to smooch boot. And we want to make sure we get the edges. And put a dot there, and a dot there, and a dot there. Making me miss decorating cakes. And you know what? I'm not going to use the tip of this because it was getting a little cumbersome. So I know my stick is around here somewhere. There it is. I'll use my stick. All right, we're going to let these ones dry now. now we're back to these. Now this is the one that we did all the glue on. And you can see it, this baby, it wiggles a little bit, but I'm pulling pretty hard. So now, next step, so we got this one, and then we got all these are the hot glued ones. These ones are super solid. I got a little bit of dried glue there. But next step is we're going to take some alcohol ink, because I'm going to show you my little prototype of rethinking these, because I've made these before, but I'm just kind of rethinking them now. And I took some alcohol ink and I colored the sides, so it's a little bit different color. It looks a little bit more aged. I think it helps it blend in a little bit better to make it look not so bottle capish looking. So you could probably take, you know what, maybe we'll take, I've got some of this high flow acrylic and some burnt sienna. Maybe we'll take these. Let me see if I can find a paintbrush. This might work. It's a mop brush. This is actually what I use with spray inks to like mop with, and this might work. So let's find something to use as a palette. I'll use this as a palette. This will work. Let's see if this works. See, I'm teaching you mask making, and I'm teaching you like how to experiment and play around with things. And I always do this. No, there we go. I always pull the cap off too much. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this. Now these are expensive. These are for airbrushes, and I use them for distressing things. And I probably should clean off the cap. I'm really bad at that. I think I've said that in every video. Let's take a little bit of water. And this is why I use them, because look, it's like watercolor. It's just really nice and loose. And we can take and we can just blot this on there. And it's aging it a little bit, not as much as I'd want it to. Let's try that. Full strength. I always go in with a little bit of water first, because if it's too much, sometimes it's harder to take it away. So we're going to take that. See, that's too much now. But because it's high flow, we might be able to hit it before it dries. Oop. Stay. Okay. That looks cool. I like that. Okay, let that dry. Wipe off the top. There we go. We're going to let that dry. We'll do one more. Do one of the pink ones. But I like the way the mop does it, the mop brush does it, because it doesn't give you like paint lines. It's not messy. It's not like alcohol ink where you have to get messy. I mean, I'm messy. I'm a messy artist. I'm horrible when it comes to being messy. So, okay. Okay. Slow down there, Tish. Let's try some burnt sienna. I want to see how that works. Let's clear our palette off. Our palette that's the top of a box. Hey, it's got a little rim. You know, the only thing that's a little annoying is this little dot in the middle. So this is fluid acrylics. This is a little bit thicker. So we're going to still use the mop brush, and I am going to add a squirt of water to this, but I'm only going to use 3 drops. Clara tip, paint the top of your bottles. You know what color is in there. Give it 1 squirt of water. And this might darken it a bit. So let's get most of the paint out of this brush. And I'm not using pressure, I'm just swiping it back and forth.
Okay, let's bring that water in. Now you can see burnt sienna is more like vintage photo, where it's a little bit more orangey. And I'm not liking this with the red. So what I might do is put the brush down and put a drop of this in there. Okay, 2 drops. I'll take a little bit and brown it up again. Okay, I painted this one over the whole top. And I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol and mist it. Because sometimes it works to make it age. I'm pulling it off table here. There we go. Sometimes it makes it look more aged. It gives it dimples. And we'll just leave this one just the way it is. Because I might do a man's journal, a masculine journal. And let's poke a hole here. Let it hang out with its new friends. So while we wait for those to dry, let's take out some circle images. You can, like this, I just took a circle punch and cut out a piece of book page. And we can do that. So I got some images. This is from 49 Dragonflies. This is from Tracy Fox. I saw a circle one in here, but I thought, how cool would it be to cut out like little circle numbers, or a circle from in here or in here. This is from Seven Plaza, and I do believe this is from Seven Plaza too, and I love the script. So there's a few different ones. So let's see what we have here that will work. So we're going to take a circle punch, and if you don't have a circle punch, grab something that's about the same size. This is, I do believe, a 1 inch. I think a quarter would work here in the United States, or the inside of a tape ring, or anything about that size. Draw your circle, cut it out by hand. You don't have to spend money on punches. You don't have to. It's not a requirement. I need my bigger scissors though. I'll be here all year if I try and cut this with that little thing. There we go. Okay, we're gonna cut this. This is a freebie from 49 Dragonflies. This is from 2023 December. I didn't think I'd be able to say that. So she's got this rose here, which is absolutely beautiful. So we're gonna cut that out. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7? Yeah, because we did that one that way. We're just gonna put a clear coat on that. Let's open this up a little bit, but I don't want to ruin everything. So we're gonna, oh, I did cut that. Oops. Because these ones will be fun to cut out and do on another project. So put that over there. See if this clock face, not quite. And maybe one more. Maybe do, I like this guy here. So I printed this on ivory cardstock to kind of give us a heads up on the Gringy Dingy. You can print it off on whatever you want. Is this at least 1 inch wide? Yeah. For scraps, I only keep things that are 1 inch wide or bigger than my thumb, because now we can punch circles out of this. Anything else goes in the scrap bin. I want this script, like right here. So we're going to take the scissors and was ist das? It's the only German I remember from high school. That and spät, because I was always late. Always late. All right, let's do this 13. I hope it'll fit. That's why I printed on ivory paper as well. But thank you, 7 Plaza, for doing a 13, because 13 is my lucky number. Everybody's off 13 is bad luck. No, my daughter was born on the 13th. Okay, so when I'm trying to center these, I like give it a gentle squeeze because I shake sometimes, especially if I'm highly caffeinated. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need one more. I'm going to do, I purposely cut out this because it has kind of a circular guy right here. And if he's a little off center, I'm okay with that. I was just going through all my digitals that I have downloaded. And I didn't get to do one of these. Aw, I think we need to do one of these. And maybe make a decision between one of those. Because flowers are beautiful. Oh, there's a hydrangea. Let's do the hydrangea. Now these printed full page are 2.5 inches. So these are going to be probably a little too big for our purposes because I printed them 2 to a page. It took me forever to remember how to do that. I don't normally do that, but let's get this hydrangea. Oh, it's actually going to be a little too small, but that's okay. It's still a hydrangea. It's still pretty. I'm not much into flowers, but I'm hoping with either this summer or next summer to start a garden. So I'm keeping this because these are going to go in another project. And then we're going to ink all of these before we glue them down, because here's the thing. If you get them wet, they smudge, right? Because this is the reactive. So if you get them wet, they smudge and they like blend out and they make the whole thing, different variations of the color. But I also want to assure myself that all of these have the edges darkened. I don't want any white edges to show that. Okay, these are mostly dry. Obviously, the part that's on the silicone table cover that I have is not. But I think I'm going to hit these with the heat gun just to make sure. Right. I made another little pot to hold these because that one's kind of full. Well, we'll play with that a little bit probably too. But so we're going to take our little circles. I set them off to the side. Let's do this with collage medium. And that way we do 2 steps in one. These are partially dried and they are looking really cool. But I'm impatient. And so we're going to remove any flyaway bits. All right, this one has a bubble on it. So I'm just going to take our finger and kind of take fingernail and pop it. There we go. They are a little warm. And they're dry to the touch. There's little bits that will dry as we let them sit. We're going to let them sit and dry completely. There is some lifting, but what you can do with that is take some twine or some something and do that. Or when you're all done, you can take an emery board and file that away, hit it with some ink, which is what you can do after they've fully dried. I can't do that right now with them, but you get the idea. This is just a base. Now, I'm going to leave these like this. And then when I'm doing my journal, I'll be like, okay, well, let's make this more coordinated with the journal I'm currently working on. I'll take some ribbon or something and put it around the edge of that. Or if I'm using embossing powder on something else in the thing, oh, I can do some embossing powder on this. And we've got a good base to go with. And these will all go in a bin, little cup or something, where I'll have them all ready because we've taken... This whole project has taken quite a bit of time, and if I were to do that with every single journal, my journals would take me forever. But having a base that I can pick up and use, pick up and make it part of the journal saves me all that time. And doing them in bulk like this makes it so it saves me having to take everything out again and do everything again, just for one. I can do it for multiple. That is why I do mask making like I do, where I get them mostly finished, and then I'll come back in and add a thing or two to make it more coordinated with the journal. So I've got all different kinds of journals that I can make with these. And if you came up with something, post them on Instagram and tag me at The Artist Haven and let me know what you came up with.
Bartender!